Welcome to the Final Fantasy VII Remake review, spoiler cast, and all things we talk about in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I just finished this a few days ago, and I knew I was going to have a lot of thoughts about it, just given how long it's been since they announced this game, and also what direction they would take the story since it's a remake. It's not just a remaster where they just retell the same story. And I've actually had a lot of conflicting opinions about this game. Like I go back and forth. I think it's an interesting game, and I felt one way and I felt another way like right after. I'm actually curious, Kuma, what did you think about the remake?
Well, my experience playing it, I haven't played the original game in like maybe over 10 years, and I only beat the original game once to its completion. I reached the end game a few times, but I never really fully beat it. So I officially beat it only one time, and that's been over 10 years ago. So when I went into this remake game, I was like, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like remembering things, experiencing things, seeing things in a different way, like scenarios. It's gonna be more very pretty. It's gonna sound good because remember how we played the demo, like the first like chapter of it. It was good. It was great. It was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, it was a
You
great
know,
demo. I sucked at the
and
combat. I was like, I don't get this combat.
yeah, I suck at it too because I couldn't combo it right. I had a hard time comboing. I kept using all my items. I keep like reaching like low health, or I actually end up dying. And I actually game over a few times too. So it's not, excuse me, it's not like a very easy game for a person that coming into it if you're not used to action games. Yeah, I was like, wow, if they kept the same energy throughout the whole game, it'd be really good. But of course, like throughout the whole game, there's some chapter that's more slow compared to others. But the slow parts also has its moments where they utilize very good music, very good environments. The character voice acting is brilliant. I play through it with the English voice acting the first time, and I really like Aerith, Tifa, Barrett, Cloud. I even like Cloud's voice too. Like I thought it was good. I personally thought it was a good, fun experience. Uh, it just went down here near the very end for me, in my opinion, because like I just didn't like where they stopped. I also felt it's kind of rushed too to get to that ending point, the stop point for this first game. Overall, I like the game. I had fun. I play on the original PS4 on the original PS4. Uh, yeah, so it ran well for me too. I had no issues with the frame rates and stuff.
Yeah, I played it on PC, and that port's got problems. I had to
Really?
mod this game quite a bit just to make it playable in a stable frame rate because it was also really taxing on the computer. It actually was starting
Really?
to overheat my computer a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Even though you have like a pretty modern,
I have a pretty upper end mid range computer, like in the
yeah.
middle
And this
between
is
mid and high range.
okay. And this
I
game came out a few years ago too, so
Yeah,
it's not
just
exactly a
the
new
port
game.
took a while, and I don't know what they did with the port, but it's it's would fit, I guess, Square Enix's history of ports because they don't typically make amazing ones. I guess aside from Final Fantasy 15's port, which was actually pretty smooth. I think in the past it's been a little hit or miss.
Okay. Besides the port, how's the game overall for you? Your enjoyment of it?
I was hovering between I'm loving this and I'm also like I'm getting annoyed by this.
Mm.
Like There's so many things to love about this game, and I could see why people would say this is one of the greatest games they have ever played. Because I felt that way too. Because like when everything is coming together, like the combat, the music, and everything, the story, the main story at least. I'll get into the side stuff and my gripes about it. Like it just flow it goes like this is where they focused it on. This is they knew the story beats. They knew like when to add the music cues of like hitting the nostalgia for people that played the original and just like hitting their new versions of the songs, which the highlight for me is the music. I love the music. It hyped me up. I when music hypes me up and everything, I know that like they spent a good amount of time on the soundtrack and everything. Like which it should be because music should add to the experience. So having everything just work together it's a fantastic experience. That being said, there are definitely some low moments for me. I actually didn't mind the end of it. I was super confused by it because they just dump so much exposition at the end. I was like, how am I supposed to keep up with all this information they're like just dumping on me of like about the story and where this is going? Because it's like, I mean, by now, if you didn't know, this is a huge spoiler, like whole thing. But like with the spirits that have been happening all throughout the game, and you're just like, what are these spirits doing? They're interfering with me. They're just coming out of like the most annoying points, like where I'm trying to do something and then they interrupt me and then they stop me from doing it. It's like, okay. And you find out, they're spirits that are trying to keep the timeline preserved or like have fate not be changed. So it's a bit of fate, time travel ish themes to it. There's been some interesting fan theories I've seen about it, and it's been like that Sephiroth, you keep seeing like black feathers and everything. So I think fan theory is that you only start seeing black feathers and everything in Advent Children.
Oh,
So this is
oh, oh,
tying
oh. You're
Advent
right. You're right.
Children stuff into this
Oh.
game, which then it's starting to think like, okay, why are there black feathers? Because you don't see them. They're not in the original game. There's no black feathers or anything like you see like Cloud sees randomly. And the theory is that this Sephiroth is actually from Advent Children, who somehow sent his consciousness back to the original game. So then he knows exactly what's going to happen to him and what's going to happen overall. Which is why, like, for the scene that when Cloud's using, like, this is a huge thing, was when Cloud's using his Omni Slash against Sephiroth, like, in the final battle, and Sephiroth deflects every single blow. It's because he's seen it before. And same with
Okay.
Aerith. There's a tie-in to like a side story with Aerith that she already knew what was going to happen with the whole story. She knows she was going to die. She knows how it's going to end. She knows the events of Advent Children. So she's basically trying to send her past self messages like that what was going to happen and what they need to do to either correct the timeline or go down the same path, save the planet and the life stream. But there's like certain points when, like during the story, when Aerith makes some like he has questionable behavior. Like the way she reacts to certain things, he's like, you just look at it and it's like, why are you acting like this? It's like you don't seem surprised at all by these events. It's like, oh, it's because she probably knows what's happening.
Hmm.
So there's like
Okay.
the interesting fan theory about that these two have sent their like consciousness back and they already know what's going to happen. Um, it's possible that Sephiroth has, well, not possible, but theory is that Sephiroth has just been using Cloud to manipulate and just change the events of the original game to basically go in the direction that Sephiroth wants him to do it, and that would ensure that Sephiroth will not die, like at the end. Because the thing
Mm.
is, you wonder if Sephiroth is real throughout the whole game because he's got to be a vision, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's he seems like a vision, but then it's also affecting Cloud that he thinks he's going crazy. He knows that Sephiroth has been killed. He killed him in the past. So it's like, why does he keep seeing him everywhere? And then there's also parts, towards the end and like Shinra, and then all of a sudden, like your whole party and everyone, just random people start seeing Sephiroth. I was like, wait, is that who I think it is? And then someone made a good point about this, is that he may have been trying to get the way he could manifest himself in the world, because he's basically just a memory. He's not actually alive. But the way he could manifest himself back into the world is if the more people remember him.
Mm.
So if people believe that he's back, he will be back, kind of thing.
Interesting.
There's a lot of theories. I could go on for hours about it, but it's interesting theories. I like that when people come up with these fan theories. Reminds me of the Soulsborne games where people are just it's very open ended.
Uh,
Well, that one's more those are more open ended, but this one's pretty open ended for interpretation, like how you want to imagine like the why these events are happening the way they are
Okay.
and how they
Until
were
until the next game come out.
until the next game comes out and just ruins everything. Is like people are just wrong. I mean, it's going to happen. People are just shooting in the dark. They have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't mind that. I I did mind the like I said, the amount of exposition they just dumped in your lap towards the end. I was like, I cannot process this at all. Like, sure, I could research this later and like look it up and get videos and all that stuff. But if I didn't do any of that and I just tried to process it, I think it just sucked. It just sucked to be just handed all that crap right at the same point, kind of thing.
Mm. Okay.
Um, yeah, I didn't really have a problem with the main story. The main story was the highlight for me.
Okay.
The I thought it was great. I think the beginning of the game was awesome. Got you hyped up,
Yeah.
playing all those
It did.
familiar tunes and everything. And then towards the middle, I started feeling a little off, like going to Sector 5 slums for Aerith's house and everything. I was starting to dip out. I kind of stopped playing for a bit, actually, because of that. It's like, oh, this is going to go into my side quest little rant. Like, oh, go find these orphans in the city. You play hide and seek kind of thing. I was like, I don't want to do this shit, dude. This is not fun. Like, this is boring. This adds
Well,
nothing to the story.
it's a side quest for a reason.
I say that, but then it's like, with instances like Witcher 3 that actually made me give a shit about side quests, and it was done so well that I like the story of those side quests. I think they could have done a better job with these side quests, because most of them were frankly not good. They're just like they were true to their name. They were side quests. The main story is where you care about, not these side things where you're just like, go find these kids that are in the middle of a river and about to drown, kind of thing. Like, well, I guess I should have, I guess I'll do it just to see what kind of rewards I get, but I'm not invested in this. It's not like
Mm.
the dialogue is that good either.
No. I feel like you have wrong expectation towards different companies. Like you took CD Projekt Red's expectation and applied it to Square Enix. And you also got to keep in mind who directed 15. Was it the same guy that worked on 15? You also got to keep in mind this Final Fantasy VII has been through 10 to 15 years of development. They went outhouse, fucked up, brought it back in house, redid the whole thing, and then because they had to release it, they kind of have to pull something together. You know what I'm saying? So through that rough development, they're still able to put out this pretty good game. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I cut them some slack. I think they still release a pretty good game. And you compare, like, there you go, CD Projekt Red, they released Cyberpunk. Same company. We thought the expectation would be, oh, just like The Witcher, right? Very good, blah blah blah.
Yep.
How that came to be. They actually dropped the ball on their own game
Yep.
compared to the last game. So that is,
If you
that's
compare
how
those two, they are very different
yeah,
games, like story
different game,
wise and
but it's the
everything.
same team though. The same
I
team,
know,
same
which is the crazy
developer.
thing. It's like
Yeah.
same company, and it should be like the same smash hit. They same lessons they learned from The Witcher. It's like, okay, what worked,
Hmm.
what didn't? Let's do that for this game. No, they made even more mistakes with that one, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So like coming from 15 to this remake, I think they did a very good job. No
Oh yeah,
fucking all these DLCs to fix the story. They didn't do all that shit.
oh yeah. This is way better than the mess that Final Fantasy
Uh
15
huh.
was, and a lot of
Only
things.
problem,
I kind of feel
like you
bad.
said,
Sorry.
what? Go finish it. Finish your thought.
I kind of feel bad for 15 because it feels like it was just made to test all these systems just to release 7 remake.
You
Like the
sure?
combat and the worlds and everything.
Mm, I don't know. I feel the combat was just almost a copy of Kingdom Hearts. It worked well, so they used it.
I feel like it was more fast paced.
Uh-huh.
I felt like it was different enough from Kingdom Hearts where it's like, okay, it's its own thing now. This is where Final Fantasy is going.
So, what do you think of the from the original versus the new combat, from turn based to action, almost action based combat? What do you think of that?
I thought it was a great change. And the amount of combos you could do with that, and also giving you the option if you really wanted to, you could play change the difficulty to classic mode where you don't have to do worry about auto attacks and everything. You just choose the inputs. So
Mhm.
it'll charge up the ATB on its own. You don't have to worry about that. It was awesome.
Have you used that?
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
really
I
use
just
it.
used the new combat, which I thought
Oh,
was
okay.
perfectly fine.
Okay.
I Yeah, it was a nice change up. I really like the combat. Using the characters though was definitely a degree of which is who is more fun than the other. Because I feel like Tifa is by far the most fun for me.
Okay.
Because she felt like just felt like a character action game. Was you string up combos and everything like that. Cloud was similar too, where I just feel like blocking and everything felt good. I have to say that Barrett was probably the least interesting to play. All he
Yeah.
does hold down the button, you shoot. Aerith was just completely overpowered with her magic. She was like, once you set up and she's a turret, set up everything, all her abilities that you get. Like, she does so much damage. I think she was probably the strongest party member in that game.
Oh, okay. I
That's how
didn't
I felt.
notice.
Because I basically, there was one boss that I took off almost half its health with just one cast of like second form fire at that point because I didn't have the
Okay.
third form Duraga.
Hmm.
So like I set up everything. I set up the fairy that shoots out spells and I think sometimes copies your spells. And then I set down the arcane ward, which doubles like anytime you use a spell in that area, it shoots out another one for free. Oh, and then I just exploited its weakness. It was fantastic.
So, you like the new look of the game with the visual? Like,
Oh
do you
yeah,
think they
I
did a
think
good
it's
job
gorgeous.
modernizing it?
It looks just like I think how people would imagine a modern Final Fantasy VII would look. Just like the character outfits, the character design, they're all so similar to the original, but there's like some minor tweaks to make them a little bit more modern. But it doesn't mess with it too much that people are like, no, this is too different from the original. I think the art style and everything and the look of the world, like looking at Midgar, like one for one. Just if you go back probably and you look at original Final Fantasy VII, I imagine it's just they did such a faithful recreation of this game in 3D. Looks great. I wouldn't be surprised. It would look great even a few years from now. Like something about this art style just it just pops out. It just looks so good. Visuals, they did a fantastic job with the visuals. That's like every time I just look at the viewpoints and everything they put you in, like look in the distance. I remember being in the slums with Seventh Heaven, everything in Sector 7, and then you look like in the distance and you see like all the different plates in the distance, central thing holding it up, and you see Midgar. It's so gorgeous. Yeah,
We think of the side games or mini games. Oh yeah, mini games.
mini games. The squats and pull-ups can go to hell.
Squats and pull.
Seriously, why
Yeah.
did they make? I don't mind that mini game if they didn't make for some damn reason why your button inputs eventually disappear from the screen.
It's,
I was like,
it's supposed to make it harder, I
I
think.
know, but it's like that is so annoying because I'm guessing I think it's going this speed, and it's like no, I'm wrong. Okay, and I'm like trying to go by my controller vibrating too. I'm like, I know you're supposed to use like a rhythm, like it has a set rhythm going to it, but man, that sucked. They were so evil for doing that. I was like okay, I could do this, but it was like, oh, it's gonna disappear after a while. I was like, you fuck you.
I
Like,
wonder
can't
if they
believe
made it easier for PC port because it was so hard on the PlayStation. I had to give up. I couldn't. I didn't complete it.
I
I
don't
didn't get
know.
that
I
trophy.
beat everything on those, so both of those took me less than 10 minutes to get everything.
Hey,
Yeah,
damn, you good. Damn, you good, man. So, who's the best girl? Who's the waifu of your choice?
I have a soft spot for Tifa, but I think Aerith came out the best waifu out of this game. They did such a good job with her character,
I know, man. I know. I totally agree. Like that traveling back to from the church to her
her
house.
house. Yeah,
Yeah, just getting to know her, like the dialogue, the rapport between those two, the banter. So good. So fucking cute.
I liked Cloud's relationship with more than Tifa. More him with more Tifa is just like, yeah, she was a childhood kid I knew, and kind of like I'm helping her out. But Aerith was like, kind of broke him down a little more, where she's like, she got him to be a little more open, a little more friendly. I felt like the relationship was far more interesting. I love Tifa, but Tifa, you know, Tifa doesn't have the same forwardness as Aerith. Aerith is just like she's constantly pushing like Cloud to do things and stuff. He's kind of dragging his feet, but he'll do it. But he can, like you could also see like how much he cares about Aerith too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Aerith they did such a good job with their character development in this game.
I
I
mean,
don't
they have to.
I don't even
In the
think
original
yeah.
game, you only play her for one disc.
Yeah, it wasn't
That's it.
long.
It wasn't long. So, in this version, I mean, that's all you get before she, I don't know how they're gonna like proceed with the game, but you're
I
not gonna
can't
get
imagine
her
they do the
much
same
longer.
thing with her.
I mean, I feel like they're gonna change up
I
because
think they're gonna
it's a
change it up.
reimagining. Yeah, I mean, I would like for them to change it up because I don't want to play the same
I
fucking
heard a
game again.
wild thing or like Since their theory was basically Sephiroth needs Cloud to remember him to exist, what if Cloud dies? It's the next part.
Can't kill Cloud off.
No, here's the thing. You can't kill Cloud normally, but it's like, what? Zack is alive. So what if Zack took over?
Oh, you're right, right, right. How you feel about the ending when you saw Zach? Okay, I didn't play
Crisis Core.
the yeah, I didn't play that, so I didn't really have that
I
big
was
emotional
soft.
combat.
I was like soft and was like, I do like Zack Fair. Zack Fair is
Okay,
awesome.
all right. So what we think of that ending song? That the guitar you like so much, they actually have lyrics to it. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, when it was playing in Sector 5 slums.
But at the very end of the game, they were singing to that tune. It was actually a real song.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't listen to it?
No, I did. I don't remember the lyrics because I'm terrible about remembering lyrics, but
Oh,
it was a very good song. I really liked it. Oh,
yeah,
with
that
the
was a
steel
little
sky and stuff.
nice little surprise for you to enjoy at the end.
I have to imagine people who didn't play Crisis Core have no idea of Final Fantasy VII. The heck is that guy?
No, no, there was like a little mini story. If you go back to his hometown, you will learn about Zack and their escape. I don't know if you
In the
discovered that
remake?
in the original game.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying for people that never played the original game or played Crisis Core.
Oh, yeah, they won't
Because
have the
it's
same.
a cameo, but it's like, who is that? I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, they won't. They won't
Because they
understand.
never once mentioned Zack, his name, in that game, actually.
Yeah.
It's for people that are really hardcore into the lore of Final Fantasy VII
Mm, mm,
or
mm,
just into those games
mm, mm, mm.
universe.
Yep.
I was. Really. I like Crisis Core for the most part. The gameplay kind of sucks, but
Story's good.
the story is weird.
Oh, weird. Okay. Well, hopefully they will do a better job when they do that recap thing. Uh Ever Crisis.
Doing a recap?
Yeah. A compilation. That's what Square Enix said. So
Oh,
I'm looking forward to
okay.
that. Mhm.
They do that every time with Kingdom Hearts. They made so many freaking compilations.
Oh, I don't know. Did you play the DLC with Yuffie though?
No, I haven't.
You
I don't know
haven't?
if I
Okay.
should. Like, I don't know how much it
It's not that I don't heard
relevant
that.
to the story.
I heard it wasn't that long, but it adds to it. I mean, it's up to you. I'm gonna play it eventually.
Yeah, I'll play it eventually, I guess, or I'll just watch a video of it.
I think you should play it before you play the second game when it comes out.
I mean, by the time the second game comes out, I'll be retiring from my job. That game's gonna never. It's gonna come out in decades from now. Who knows how long that will take? Which is actually, you'd think my biggest problem would be the story or anything, or the side quests of this game. It's not. The biggest problem I've had, and I've had since when this game was announced, and they were announced they were going to do multiple games in this universe, was how long it's going to take for them to release the next parts. Just given their track record of Kingdom Hearts 3 especially, and just how long are you gonna make people wait? It's like there's only so much people can theorize with fan theories about this game, this first game, where people just eventually you gotta release it. I'm wondering how long it'll
Mm.
take.
Oh wow. As long they have to focus on the writing because they already got the assets, the engine,
Yeah.
graphics. They just gotta work on the storyboard. That's all. So it should be faster, in my opinion.
It depends how much because for the original game,
Hmm.
like once you're outside Midgar, the whole world just starts opening up. You could explore everywhere.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering how much like they can do within within the realms of the technology right now. Like
I think
can
it.
they do that kind of thing, or is it going to be like limited areas that you go from area to area and then they just like fast travel to different parts? How is it going to? How open it's going to be?
I mean, if they follow 15's path, I think they could do it. You know,
It's like
like
big open areas, but it's still kind of linear because there's not really that many areas to like branch off.
yeah, they can't really develop all these cities, all these towns.
Yeah,
Just
because
maybe the vital ones.
you'd have to
But they
do
could,
like Wu Tai and such. I think you visit Wu Tai in the original game.
yeah,
I mean, to
to
meet Yuffie and everything.
no, you met Yuffie in the open field. That
Oh,
was
that's
just a
right.
mini side quest for Yuffie.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah, and like wondering, it was like that Shinra town, that port town with the big cannon shooting at, like pointed out towards the sea.
That's a main mission. You have to
Yeah,
do
you
that.
have to do. They're gonna do
You,
that one.
yeah.
Um,
Eh,
yeah,
the, unless the ghosts or those like story stopper thing,
yeah.
you know, get in the
Also,
way.
yeah,
So
like also they probably would have to do a full fledged gold saucer.
mhm.
Like I don't know how much they could do within their technology. Is what I'm curious about. And also, what would the stopping point of the next game be? Like, do we know how many parts is this saga is going to be? Is it two, 3 parts? What, 4
They
parts?
didn't say.
They
I
think
didn't
like
say.
then you'd just be wondering what the next stopping point would be in the story. Would it be after something happens to a certain character, or
I don't know. I look forward to it. I just want to experience it. I let them do what the fuck they want. I just play it.
you trust them that much?
Well, they already changed it already. So
Yeah, frankly they did a really good job for a remake. One of the better examples of a remake, I think, in video game history, alongside Resident Evil 2.
mm,
Those two definitely examples you want to do when if you're going to remake an old classic or old game, you should do it like these.
mm, mm, mm.
Like same idea. Yeah, I liked it more than I thought it would be, but I also didn't I knew that it wouldn't be a disaster. Like I knew it was going to succeed up on some level. But I also knew that I was going to have problems with it. I wasn't looking to have problems, but the problems that I was having, I wasn't expecting to have problems with. Like with the side quests or like just the constant time, like the amount of time you spend with some characters. I don't mind caring about characters in games and everything, but if I have to do it for every single character I meet, it's exhausting. Like they spent to give you make you spend so much time with all these other characters. Um, like they give more characterization to Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, and I liked one of those characters, like the character development, and then the other two I felt like didn't do much for me. Like I felt
Yeah.
like Biggs and Jesse I didn't care about.
Oh, really? I like Jessie. I thought
I
she
know
was
people
okay.
like Jesse, but I'm just like she's a lesser Aerith to me. Like she's spunky and flirty and everything, but it's like that's what Aerith is, but it's just done not as good.
Mm.
Like I really liked Aerith and everything, but I mean Jessie is fine, but she also kind of annoyed me because of how talky she is. So every time Cloud's like just says "shut up," I'm like, yes,
You gotta play in the Japanese. She doesn't sound like that, or
yeah,
her tone is not like that. You just got the next time you play in Japanese to
mm,
change it up. You know.
okay. I'll play it in hard mode and everything.
I mean, good luck. Hard mode is
I heard
actually
hard
pretty
mode
tough.
is very hard. Can't use items and everything like that.
Yeah, you can't. MP doesn't replenish.
I think it does. No, it doesn't.
I mean,
I know you have to rely more on like pray and chakra and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
to
yeah,
heal.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So
Like when you
I'm
sit on a bench, it doesn't recover.
mana, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta use other methods to like recover it
Sounds
slowly.
miserable, frankly.
I mean, that's the challenge. People like the game so much, and they want to have a you know play in a
Yeah, I
certain
wasn't sure.
difficulty
It was like some of the materia needs so much AP,
leveling.
yeah, leveling. It needs so much experience for it. I was like, how you
Mm.
ever there's no way you can get this on one playthrough.
No, no, of course not. You have to grind to level that stuff up, and get to and to have a certain build. Then you could tackle on hard mode and beat it. And it takes time. It takes dedication. If you not into that shit, it's not for you. Not for
I wanted to grind on materia because I always liked the materia system in Final Fantasy VII. That was
no.
fun. There's a different take on like leveling abilities. Like you don't just level your character, you have to level these specific orbs to make it better. They have to actually use them. That was a fresh take. I mean, it's not like in the original. I mean, when you level, I mean, you still level up like your limit breaks and everything in that game. So kind of a bummer. You only get like, I think you only get one version of your limit breaks for each
No,
character.
no. You get
No,
like 2 to 3.
you get 2 or 3. Wow.
Yeah.
I how do
You
you level
probably
those
skip
up?
over. Your weapon. Each your certain weapons you have a different limit break, and you're supposed to like master it, and so you could
Oh,
keep it.
I thought
You
those
probably
just were regular abilities, not actually your limit break.
those are limit breaks. I mean, it's really hard to like
No, I thought those are actual just abilities because I unlocked all those. I mean, like
is it
you know,
abilities.
Cloud has like cross slash and everything. Like when
Oh,
your
you're
limit
right.
break
Those
bar,
are. You're right. Right. Okay. You're correct. Those are abilities. But there's
yeah,
but I did use different types of limit break though.
they might have
I,
changed it. I think the abilities they changed over. Like I feel like Braver and stuff were limit breaks, like different limit break.
yeah, Braver was a limit break.
Yeah, they changed it to just a regular ability now, where you just use with ATB.
Oh, they edited it.
I think so.
Okay. Oh,
I remember using
I'll
all those.
try that.
Like, wait, I use these as limit breaks, not regular abilities that I just use when my ATB have enough ATB on it.
Mm.
So I think they changed that.
Okay. Make it
Um,
easy. I mean, like it was so
yeah.
hard to like get the limit break going because I barely use it in my gameplay.
Yeah, I
Barely.
barely use it too. And then I
So
got
maybe
yelled at
that's
on
why.
stream. It was like, you don't use limit breaks. And I was like, well, it doesn't pop up enough for me to remember using it. It's only when you get hurt really, really badly or something, and then it just gives it to you. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't really use it that much.
So you got yelled at.
Yeah, I got yelled at.
Uh,
Funny.
that's funny.
What did you think about the boss battles in this game?
I think it's fun. It's different. It's hard. You know, it's hard, flashy.
Some of these boss battles were just attrition. There's endurance tests. Like they took forever.
Yeah, they took fun because they're fucking hard. They're just so
It
fucking
wasn't
hard.
so much hard as like it just felt like they were padding time for me. Like there was one boss battle in the Shinra building right before your leave, and it's that giant robot with the wheels.
You had to fight that thing. Fight it in a motorcycle. It was a long fucking
Yeah,
battle,
that was like, oh my god, this is going on forever. This
and it
thing
was
took
hard
over
too.
an hour just to do.
And it was hard too. I
Yeah,
didn't beat it my first try. I died.
I beat it, but it took a long time. Because I was basically like, okay, I have no idea what it's weak against because I was not expecting Cloud's boss battle against Rufus Shinra and his dog to happen right before that battle because I didn't have a chance to change out my materia. So I
Uh,
would have changed it out so either Barrett or Aerith would have assess materia so I could figure out what freaking weak point it has.
uh,
Because I use that thing so much because like I hate guessing what it's weak against because I just waste so much time with it. I'd rather just use instant materia. And when I didn't have it, this boss battle took way longer because I'm like, I'm just gonna use every single spell I can on Aerith and see what's weak against. But some boss battles are just like they took too long. I was like, I started getting bored. I was like, I just want to get this done.
Or
It's just, it was like a symbol for this game. I felt sometimes where it's like this game is the ultimate padding. Like they just stretched everything out from the original game. I mean, that's no secret, right? It's like it's only going to include the Midgar section, so they have to somehow fill in that time. It's like I knew I would not be a huge fan of the padding because I hate when things overstay their welcome. It's like,
mhm.
okay, you want to introduce this stuff line, but yeah, it's. I think I wanted to spend a little less time in Midgar. There's only so much you could do in Midgar before you're like, okay, I just want to see the rest of the world. It's like this is just one city. It's not like this city's that interesting, right? I mean, they have the like secret labs and Hojo stuff. Like that's cool, but there's only so much Midgar has to offer.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think
it's started
I,
to
I think
slightly
it,
overstay its welcome.
I think it's the results of poor development. They had to put something out, and that's the best plan of action with their developed assets. You know, they can't
No,
wait any longer because the publisher is pissed.
are they?
Huh? I mean, again, remember this game's been in development for like, probably 10 plus years.
That's true. It's been in development for a long time.
Yeah, because and so something has to get released. They made so many promises, and 15 didn't do that well as a game for them, in their opinion. It was successful financially, but for their reputation, it failed.
I think it didn't convince people Final Fantasy was back. I think it was people like, no, this is a very hit or miss game.
Because 15 also have a bad development too. Like
Yeah,
they're
it
just
was a
having.
mess. Originally supposed to be an extension of Final Fantasy 13, and then it just decided to
Mhm,
change it so it's separate from that. And it's like,
mhm. So 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 Final Fantasy 7 remake was just a, a a success for them financially and bringing them back.
yeah, I was gonna ask this, like, now that Final Fantasy 7 remake has been had critical acclaim and I think it sold really well. Do you think it brought back the prestige and reputation of Final Fantasy?
Uh, I say it is a false return because
False return.
because I still feel like it was a what do you call it? It was all luck. Everything just fell into place. They
Mm-hmm.
got fucking lucky
Yeah.
because like it wasn't planned like this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This game always felt like when they had nothing left or like they knew it would work because of people's strong nostalgia
Nostalgia.
for this game.
Mm.
Final Fantasy 7. As much as I like it, it overshadows every other Final Fantasy game. Like I know you love Final Fantasy 8, but Final Fantasy 7 will always get more attention than that.
It was the first 3D game. It
That's true.
it pushed Sony out onto it made them the big boys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It was a
Mhm.
system seller.
Yeah, because like for you to play such a new game, like with the graphics and like and everything, you have to get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And this game like showcased like the graphics and the music.
Yeah, everything worked great for it.
So that's why everyone remember 7 versus 8.
Yeah, 8 was like, okay, this is more 3D.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing: 8 got better music,
Really, you think
and
so?
better music and better set pieces.
Set
Like
pieces, huh?
like
Hmm.
the intro, the icicle through the chest, The because you didn't get that far, like this other
No, I
stuff.
haven't.
So you just play it. Just play it.
I'm just waiting for you to just
I
voice
played it
chat
already.
with me while I play it. No.
Hell no. I don't got time for that. That's like a 30-hour game. I could be playing something else.
You did that with me for Bloodborne. That was fun.
Guess I was actively playing with you.
No, even before that. Anyway,
Any
yeah,
other
it's.
thoughts for the remake?
I hope. I don't. There's a lot I hope. I hope that. I'm sure they have their own vision of what they want the story to go, like where they want it to go. I mean,
A lot of the people that worked on the original came back to
yeah.
lead. So
Nomura
hey,
actually was on 7 originally. He's been there. Like, he's
so
one of the original developers for that game.
okay. So I mean, it can't go that bad. Only way it could go that bad is someone got sick, someone passed away.
That's my thing. It's like
Uh,
if some complication like that, health complication, whatever,
uh,
messes with the development.
hmm
Yeah.
or 16 bombed so bad they lost so much money that they don't have funding for part two.
I have to imagine that Final Fantasy 16 is so many years down the pipeline. Like, that game's not going to come out for at least 3 to 5 years.
I don't know.
Because they didn't show gameplay at all, have they?
No, they show cutscenes,
That's
which
it.
looks amazing.
They're Look, Final Fantasy 7 when it had the pre-rendered cutscenes at certain points, it looked amazing. Like, them show. I remember. I think it was the first one was maybe the second one. First or second one was when Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa are escaping from the Sector 7 plate from falling, and they're ziplining, and then it cuts to that pre-rendered cutscene. It was like, oh, that looks so good. Hey, Square Enix has always, yeah, Square Enix has always been for those Final Fantasy games. Those cutscenes have been so gorgeous.
Mm.
Yeah, no wonder why I really liked Advent Children back then. Because like, oh, this game is so, or this movie is so pretty. This story sucks, but whatever. Yeah, I think overall, I think it's a very good game, which is probably not what you expected me to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised because you're such a harsh critic, and I thought you're gonna rate this much lower. Like I thought you're gonna drop the game, so I was happy you actually finish it and fully experience it for yourself.
Oh yeah, I remember I told you I'm like, man, I'm not feeling this game. This game is getting boring.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, just like stick with it,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too.
I They definitely messed up at certain points. Uh, side quests and all,
Mm.
but I
It's
overall,
minor though. It's
hmm?
very minor to the overall game. You don't even have to do the side quests
Yeah,
to
exactly.
enjoy the
Like
game
towards
either.
the end, when it's like, oh, you can't come back and do side quests. I'm like, good. I'm not gonna do them.
Yeah. A side quest is for completionists, people
Yeah,
that really love
absolutely.
100% the game and stuff. You don't have to do all that to enjoy the game,
Oh
you know?
no. If
So,
anything, I think it detracts from the game because
mm,
the main story is so much better.
mm, mm, mm.
Like once I got back on the main story and I was attacking Shinra's, building and everything, taking the fight to them, was like then this just went back up. Yep, I'm having fun again. So it was like a weird thing too that I played this game and then it felt like I spent so much time and I look at the playtime like I only spent like 12 hours. I'm like, this game, I feel like I played this game for like 30, 40 hours already for some reason. I don't know, the
Oh yeah.
pacing was weird.
Probably
Like
because you like, oh, I'm so dreaded. I don't want to play this anymore. Because you felt that way.
no, it was even before that when I was really into it in the beginning. It was like I feel like I'm doing a lot, I'm exploring, but I think the pacing is because it has you walking really slow while talking to people a lot.
Uh,
how it just slowed down things. I didn't mind too much because, it was interacting with, like Tifa and Barret and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Characters were still interesting to listen to. It just felt like it wasn't a drag. I wouldn't say it's like it felt like a drag, but it just felt long for some reason, even though I didn't spend much time into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to other JRPGs I played, like Trails, the Legend of Hero games, which are way longer, and like Persona, those games are easily over 100 hours, kind of thing. Those games, for some reason, felt shorter.
Mm, okay.
I don't know why. Something with the pacing. I can't quite explain it, but something with it. But yeah, very good game. I had a good time with it. I think what they've got is a solid foundation for future games. And as long as they keep at it, keep the combat just as fun, and expand on it, I think it'll just continue to do well.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So definitely a recommend for me as well
Yeah, I would
for new
recommend it.
players and returning players.
Yeah, for both new and old. I think there's a reason why this game fondly remembered by people played in the past. There's a lot of great things about it. Also, it just, it stumbles along the way, but no game is perfect, right? Nothing is
Mhm.
perfect.
No, no.
But they did a damn good job of it. Far better than what I thought they would do. That says a lot about me since I can't stop myself from criticizing things.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, give it a bash. I would probably not get it for PC because the PC port is still a mess and you have to mod it to make it playable. Like you have to do that. If you don't, you're not going to have a good time. They did a port. This is something they need to work on. They need to work on the PC port. You can't do this kind of stuff anymore. Like the PC market is huge. You're squandering it by releasing shoddy PC ports like this. Oh, they got to work on the future PC ports of games and Final Fantasy 6. And that Final
What,
Fantasy
Shadow of Paradise?
yeah.
Stranger of
You
Paradise.
knew what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah,
That Souls like game. A PC port better not be crap. I don't even know if it's coming out for PC.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'd be able to play it.
Work on your ports, Square Enix. You got the budget.
Yeah, after this remake.
Yeah. You gotta smash hit. Don't squander it. Also, change up Final Fantasy XIV's combat.